So it is one thing having a Facebook group for your business, and it's another thing joining groups that are relevant to your business. But how do you actually use them to grow your business? Because remember, that's what we're all about. We're all about actually growing and making our businesses work. So here are my top pieces of advice for you. Take the opportunity to be helpful. So when someone is asking a question, help them out. Make yourself visible, raise your profile, and help them out. If you have a relevant blog post that answers the question they're asking, it is the prime opportunity to share that blog post with those people. And this is inside your group and other people's groups. So if you are in a group of small business owners and someone's asking, what software do you use for accounting, for example, which is a post I saw this morning in a group that I'm in. If you have a blog post that says, here are 3 software tools you can use to help you with your bookkeeping, it is a perfect place to answer that question with, well, I prefer using Xero, but here's a blog post I wrote about the 3 different kinds of software you use for doing your accounts online. So you're getting people out of that group straight over to your blog and your business, and then they can see what you're all about. There are people who join multiple groups, and I don't really know how they even have time to do any business or any work if they're hanging out in all of these groups. So my suggestion to you is to pick 2 or 3 good quality groups, and by good quality I mean groups where people are engaging. They have people in them that are your ideal audience members. Now you could be in a peer group, so you might be in another group for social media managers, for example, and you're seeing what difficulties do other people have with this type of client, that kind of idea. You might be in a virtual assistants group if you are a VA, and you are hanging out in there and saying, well, what do you do if a client doesn't pay? Getting that kind of advice from people. So there's peer groups, and then there's the groups where hopefully you'll be able to pick up some business for yourself. And we are focusing on Facebook groups this month, but the same kind of applies to LinkedIn groups as well, and Twitter chats. Making yourself useful, sharing content that helps the people to answer the questions that people have, being in the relevant groups or chats that are relevant to your business. And really key point, don't spam groups. You don't want to be kicked out of a group for being the annoying person who's just spamming the whole group and self-promoting yourself. So I'm going to go and see if I can find a good example of where somebody is doing this in what I consider to be the right way. Not exactly what I had in mind, but this is quite a good post. This is inside a group that I am in. Can somebody point me to a handy guide on GDPR for small businesses? So there's a couple of responses here, and let's see, down here it says, here is a link to an interesting article, 12 steps to take now for small organisations. So that is great. So they're helpful, and they're pointing you to a website that's going to actually help you with the answer to that question. So here is an interesting way of somebody sharing inside the Social Beehive, but in a way that complements what I'm doing, so it's not seen as spam. So what Julie has done is she has read the blog post that I have written about tips for your Facebook page, and has shared her page as a way of showing me what she's done. So that is really interesting, because normally I say to people, no, you can't really just share your page into this group. That's not how it works. But this Julie has done it in a way that, as she's flattering me as the group owner, mentioning my blog post, and she gets a share of her page in here. So that is a really clever way of doing things, and quite interesting. And then just below that, Frank has asked, can anyone recommend any designers or brand creatives? So if you were in this group and you were a designer, this is where you have the opportunity to share your business. So he's saying this is what he's after, and then let's have a look. I mentioned my designer who's in Canada, and sent through the link to that. Then Dawn is in there. So Dawn works for a group called Page Setup Design, and now she's been able to be helpful and get a link to her business in there without being spammy. And then Janice, who is in the group as well and actually is in the academy, is recommending somebody else there, which is really nice. Okay. And then there's just posts being shared and stuff. There's the Sunday share that people put their own posts in as well. So how do you actually find groups that are useful to you to join? So Facebook has this great search facility up here. So say I wanted to look for Virtual Assistant UK. Right? You can type in whatever you want in here. And I type that in and click search. You will see Facebook has all posts, people, photos, blah, 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 blah. Over here, we're looking for groups. So this would be mentoring support for people who are virtual assistants. This is not where you're going to find your clients if you're a VA. Oh, there's one down there. It says Virtual Assistant Job Board UK. So who knows, that may be worthwhile. The other thing that happens is sometimes people will archive groups. So become a virtual assistant in the UK. This person has been doing VA training and is going to archive their group. So I'm actually in an archived group, and what that looks like is, well, if you want to, so a VA, that's where you'd find all your other VAs. Sorry, apologies. And then if you want to do find a virtual assistant, let's see what that types in. See these words that I'm typing in here? If you are a virtual assistant, these are the keywords you should have on your page. Couldn't find anything for. Okay, let's see. Oops. Small business owners. Okay. So there's 6.6 members. So if you clicked on that, and this is how you join a group then, you see. So check out what it says. Small Business Owners Group for small business owners, network and share information. La 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 la. 6,500 members. 132 posts today. I think that looks like a group that is possibly a bit spammy, to be honest. And it's got 1,500 new members in the last 30 days, but it was created 4 years ago. So a little alarm bells are going off for me there. I don't think that would be a group that I want to be in. It just sounds a bit spammy, which is interesting because over here we've got get clients without being salesy. You know, interesting different groups. No one supports. That's all it says. Okay, but that's the kind of group you might want to join and see if people are looking for virtual assistants, if that's what you do. So joining the right groups, participating in them, making most of the opportunity to answer people's questions that direct people out of that group and to your website where you're now writing your blog posts. That's how you use groups to actually grow your business. It's certainly how you use other people's groups to grow your business, and people have made a huge success out of doing that. You'll also see up here, this Facebook group doesn't have a see where my mouse is? It hasn't got a URL yet for its group. So that's not a group that I would be too keen on joining. Lots of people being added in regularly. That's fine. It's just different groups for different things. Just really want to bring it back to the key pointers, which are be helpful, share your blog posts when they answer questions, pick 2 or 3 useful groups where your ideal audience hang out, do not spam, and if you're going to create your own group, I have found it invaluable for my business. It doesn't work for every business, I have to say that now, but for some businesses it's definitely worthwhile, and I wish you all the best with it. And any questions that you have about groups, please do pop them in the community. Oops, helps if I have my screen on the right place.